Live. Hear me live. We're live. And this is Gennard Hajdini calling from Tirana, Albania. And we are actually we're actually talking about the first constitutional amendment today and the rights that come from it. And it's very important to know our rights in constitutional amendment and the right in organizational culture, for example, to do the right thing for the right reasons, for the right people at the right time, which is called agapao life, love. Agapao love, which means love in action from Greek. Agapao love in action. So what we're talking about today is we're talking about the first amendment in the American Constitution, one of the basic rights, which is the freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of grievances, and freedom of grievances, and another freedom of press, speech, and freedom of the four basic freedoms. The four basic freedoms are again freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of association, and freedom of grievances. The four basic freedoms in the First Amendment, in the First Amendment, in the amendment of the Constitution of the United States. And we're going to go little by little to explain all of them. First of all, the freedom of religion. It was stated in the United States of America that there will not be any form of religion, state religion. This is very important. If in a country there is not a state religion per se, that doesn't mean that means that even other religions who per se want to be main religion in this country in the future, in America or around the world, especially in America with this constitution, that means that they cannot have Sharia law or Shariat or other religious constitutional religious laws in the country, because there is not one religion per se that is worshipped or is a state religion. Therefore, freedom of religion is very important because people can worship as they want, as they desire, by being free, expressing their freedom and freedom to choose. Freedom to choose is very important. Freedom to choose which religion they want to follow. The second point is freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is very important because in dictatorial countries, one of the things that is curtailed is the freedom of speech. So you have to be careful. Even in Albania, you don't want to cross the second freedom, freedom of speech, by curtailing and saying we'll have laws against the freedom of speech. We'll have laws against what people say, what people think, what people do, what people want to do in social networks or things like that, or social media, etc., etc. You cannot do that. You cannot instate a dictatorial country in Albania by saying that people are not free to say whatever they want. People are free to say whatever they want within the lines, of course, within their responsibilities, but people are free to express themselves. It's freedom of speech. It's very important. And the third freedom is freedom of association in groups. People can associate, can protest. They have the freedom to protest or associate, to gather in groups. They have freedom to gather in parties. They have freedom to gather for birthdays. They have freedom to gather for hangouts, to hang out together, to have a lunch or a dinner, whether they have an opinion, political opinion, or whether they are free people or free groups, etc., etc. They are free to associate with one another. It's very important, this thing. In Albania, people want to associate in groups and different groups and have parties for sometimes for 7th of March for the Teachers' Day, or 8th of March for Women's Day, and 1st of May for Workers' Day, etc., etc. They want to associate in groups. It's very important. The fourth freedom is very important. It's the freedom of grievances against government. People can grieve or can have ankesa, we say in Albania, or we can have grievances, and they can have requests against what government is doing, how they're conducting themselves, etc., etc., etc. Very important. And what is the most important thing on all this is that when you are in an organization, you have to put the interest of organization first instead of the individual interest. You have in an organization like National Institute of Public Health or Secretary General of Interreligious Council, or where you are in Region University adjunct professor, etc., etc. You have to put forward the interest of the organization than your own interest. This is called agapao love, by being responsible to the organization and everything else, and putting the interest, the general interest of the organization, the general interest of the public, instead of your own personal interest. For other things, you can deal in the family, to put your own grievances and interests in the family, etc., 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 by paying attention to your own family. Oh, the time is up, and I think this is over. And this is Gennard Hajdini from George Custodio Foundation and Jesus Christ Foundation, founder and president of it. Në Shqip do të themi pak, liritë themelore janë liria e fesë, liria e fjalës së lirë, liria e mbledhjes së grupimit dhe liria e ankesave ndaj qeverisë. Këto janë 4 lirit bazë në amendamentin e parë të Konstitutës Amerikane. These are the 4 basic freedoms in the First Amendment of United States Constitution. God bless you. Bye-bye. We're